Hi all, it's Miri again, and this is Daryl.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
He'll be joining us today to talk more about traveling on a budget. So the previous segment we did just talked about, how to try to reduce your debt, how to invest, and also what we're going to talk about now is just how to travel. And a lot of people feel like traveling is not something that is accessible to them because, you're still trying to make ends meet. You have like student loans to worry about. So people just get locked into this idea of, I need to be rich to travel, but that's actually not true.
Definitely not the case.
So we will try within the next few minutes to shed some light on how you can do it and do it well. And our resident expert over here, Daryl, do you mind telling us how many cities/countries?
So I've lived in 11 countries in the past 13 years, and I've been to about 30 plus countries in my lifetime. And it's not because I'm rich. I promise you that.
I can't compete. I can't even speak in countries. I can speak in cities. But I've been to some cheap ones, some expensive ones. So all that is, I think what the things that you have to consider when traveling are, where would I get the experience that I want and where can I afford to go to? So we're now going to try to figure out, okay, let's say you've saved up some money and now it's time to go somewhere. I know a lot of people have the question, like, how do I go about it? So what are some of the first things you should think about?
Okay, definitely when planning a trip, for me at the very least, and even if I'm not planning a trip, this is something that I would highly recommend, is to have a cheap ticket alert. So you can visit a website, you can find them online easily, you subscribe to them and they send you alerts for cheap tickets to places like the Caribbean, a lot of hotspot destinations, and off the beaten path ones as well. So there's a huge variety. You choose from a filter and then pretty much they send you offers and you can choose from that.
Like literally all you have to do is Google cheap ticket alerts and it will populate so many different ones. And I'll actually put a link at on the bottom of the video for you to know the ones that he's used in the past that has been like successful for him. So actually I've traveled not as much as him, but I wasn't as smart about my traveling. It was more so, okay, I got approved to go here, now I have to buy a ticket, and it's like resulted in me not usually getting the cheapest ticket I could possibly get.
And something that's really useful with one of these cheap ticket alert websites is the fact that you can select the airline that you want to use. So what happens is that you can collect a lot of these frequent flyer miles and use them for either hotel accommodations or maybe even for your next flight to Bora Bora or something.
Now you're dreaming big. Okay, yeah. It's really, really important. These are like little things that you can do that at the end of the day have like a huge impact, because you're just like, I really don't feel like signing up for this, like, additional thing. I don't feel like filling this additional form. It might take you like 5 minutes to complete, the information for getting your frequent flyer miles. But once you have that, is all you literally have to do is remember your username and password, and if you forget that, you can create another password.
Yeah, very easily.
So definitely take that into consideration.
The next thing for me would clearly be country. So apart from the cheap ticket flight aspect, you want to think about the country. I highly recommend purchasing Lonely Planet or even looking up their blogs online, so they can basically direct you to popular travel blogs all over the world. So you can search by region, or you can even search by language group. You can search by zone. So if you wanted to, for example, see the Northern Lights, they have an entire section on that, and you can see different countries. So you can either be in Scandinavia, you could be in the US, in Alaska, or you can be in Canada. So things like that. Those popular travel blogs also have a lot of information about how to save money, where to go. So it also tells you about the standard of living of the place. So the purchasing parity for your US dollar, for example, how far will it take you in that country? How much is a gallon of milk? Things like that. So you can really plan how you're going to be living. And they have an option where you can choose off-season tours.
Yeah.
And that's something that's really important. So I'm originally from the Caribbean. If I wanted to go during tourist season, there's no way that I would be able to afford it at the very least with my like student loans, just me being a poor graduate student. Let's be honest and be real about it. So off season is definitely the way to go.
No, it's definitely true. Over the South African winter, I was there. So people love to come to Cape Town during the summer. They can go to the beach, but guess what? You end up standing in line 2 hours every time you want to eat. Everything is crowded. All the prices are like jacked up. But because we were there during their winter, which is still considerably like nice. Like right now, I'm wearing a jacket inside. When I was in Cape Town, I did not have to wear a jacket inside, but it was their winter. Like things are significantly cheaper. Like you go to a restaurant, like a really, really, really nice restaurant, and you spend $10, $15. I mean, for them, it's a lot of money. But for me, like spending $10 on like a super fancy like dinner and like a nice plate of calamari. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be like bougie or anything, but these are things that I wouldn't be able to just do here on like a random night.
Yeah, the common experience for most Americans at the very least is that, especially ones that have debt or are afraid to spend money and treat themselves, is that they think that traveling is luxurious. But actually, what is luxurious about traveling? One, the people and the cultural experience, but two, the fact that you can indulge in a lot of things that you might not be able to, one, afford in the US, or had things that you've never thought of exploring or trying in the US because it's just not a part of your cultural perspective.
At all. So it's like the places that you pick to go to really determine what type of experience you're going to have. Don't, you know, do the cities everyone may be like always post pictures of.
Be a trailblazer.
Like go to somewhere you actually like learn something new, do something different, and be able to afford. Number one.
And speaking of being able to afford, as someone that is not an American citizen that loves traveling, I think one of the best things about being American is the fact that your passport is number one. Well, it's tied with the UK for your passport power index. So basically, you can travel to I think it's 147 countries, I believe, without usually anywhere between 30 to 90 days without a visa. Plus, you have additional ones where you can enter the country and get a visa on landing in the country. So that's really flexible. You save tons of money on a visa. Visas are extremely expensive, so please cash in on the benefits of your U.S. passport. It makes traveling a lot easier.
So
no
where have you been to without needing a visa? What countries?
I've been to Ecuador without one. Mexico, and that's pretty much it. I just had to be spending a lot of money on visas, so, and it's painful.
It hurts. I think I didn't need one for South Africa, and but I'm going to.
And Hong Kong. I didn't need one for Hong Kong.
Really? And is that still the rule right now?
Yeah, British Commonwealth.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Okay, well, that's kind of what we have for today. So just to do a quick recap.
Yeah. Planning a trip, you need a cheap ticket alert website. Subscribe, figure out how you can get your frequent flyer miles. You can either use it for your next flight or for hotel accommodations. Use your Lonely Planet guides. Figure out off the beaten path, off-season tours and trips that you can capitalize on. Follow travel blogs. Even if you're not planning to travel now, I'd say it's a good idea to keep an eye out for some interesting places that are cheap enough for you to be able to, you know, treat yourself. You deserve it. And please cash in on your U.S. passport. Gives you a lot of leeway with traveling. And yeah, so
all right,
travel on a budget.
Thank you so much, Daryl.
You're welcome.
He's amazing. Okay, bye.